Hello, this is the apparatus that we're going to use to look at the centripetal force that acts on something which goes around in a circle. Let me just show you how very simple it is. We have a little thing. This happens to be a rubber bung which is going to go on the end of this very thin string, and that goes through an old ballpoint pen tube which is used because it's got very little friction against this particular string. All I'm going to do is to swing the weight round in a circle in that way. Well, perhaps that's not quite all. I'm going to measure the diameter of the circle by measuring its radius, and also I'm going to balance the rotating thing against another weight. And I happen to have, because this is a laboratory, a 100-gram weight, which I can put on the end there. And if I now spin the little bung around at some suitable place, you can see perhaps that the balance is happening because the string isn't moving apart from where it's rotating, and the weight at the bottom stays at the same level. If I increase the diameter by putting a little bit more effort in, you'll notice, I hope you can see that the little bung goes round more slowly but in a much bigger circle. So what we're going to do is to look at the relationships between how fast I have to spin the bung and how big the circle is and how heavy this weight which goes on the bottom happens to be. So what I'm going to do is to measure a reasonable length on here first, and I've chosen, say, 40 centimetres from the tip of the pen to there, and I'm going to mark the string so I can judge when I've got the diameter to be 80 centimetres and the radius 40 centimetres. So I do this without getting everything tangled up. This is the boring bit, so I make that exactly 40 centimetres to the centre of mass. And I'll mark it now with a red marker. And as you can see, all I've done is produce that little red mark there, and that's going to sit at the entrance to the ballpoint pen tube. And then I'm going to spin this weight around and balance it, as I did just now, against this 100-gram mass. So I look for the 40 centimetres, which is there. Get that just adjusted correctly. If I can do, oops, I managed to knock myself in the eye. That's pretty clever. So that's now about right. And you can see I've tried to get the thing spinning horizontally. And I have to go a little bit faster to get it to balance. And at that point, nothing else moves and everything balances. So now my job is to find out how fast this little bung is going round. I'll put it in the picture perhaps a little bit more, and you can see it's actually very straightforward. With 40 centimetres I can keep that just at eye level, and it balances really nicely. So here we go again with our 40 centimetre radius, and we'll see how it goes. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 revolutions took 10.75 seconds. At least you can see that it's very easy. You can take a measurement. If it doesn't work, take another one, and then go back. So now you see we're back to 30 centimetres, and we're getting a different rate of rotation. It's probably going to be a little bit easier for me to organise this time. Just get the red mark there at the end of the pen, and so we'll start. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that was 9.2 seconds. Remind you again, we've got 50 grams, that's our causing the force downwards, and we've got our 30 centimetre, or at least we will have, 30 centimetre radius circle. Get it about horizontal. Now I can get the stopwatch in the other hand, and so we can go. Not quite right, the red bit's moved a bit too far up, now it's going back down, and there we're just going to get it balanced at that point, so we can go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's about 8.8 seconds. If I try to make a very small circle. I'm not going to do the counting because it becomes very, very difficult. But if I try to balance it with an extremely small radius circle, you can see that the bob is rotating extremely rapidly at this point. If I make it bigger, then I have to get out of the way because I get it above my head. So now we have it balanced at a very low rate of rotation. 1, 2, 3. It's not quite so easy to control now. 4, etc. So there's a nice linkage between the radius of the orbit and the weight which is hanging on the end. If you want to do this properly, then we repeat our measurements and do it again, and then do a number of different values for the radius and for the hanging mass.